Hey gun people, gonna do a couple videos here. First one I'm gonna do on this AR that I just picked up. It is the Smith & Wesson M&P. Nice gun. Academy around here has them on sale for $645. And it comes with one of the magazines, the flip-up sights, the front sight. They had a DPMS AR that I was going to get, and it was only $499, $500. So this is $145 more. All it had was the flat rail. It had bigger hand guards, and it didn't have a front sight. So if you wanted a front sight, you'd have to put on a front sight and a rear sight. It also did not have this dust cover, which isn't really a big deal, but I mean, it's just kind of like standard. So this came with the dust cover. It also did not have a forward assist, which helps push that bolt all the way in if it doesn't close all the way. So, expandable stock. This is the big, you know, AR that everybody thinks is the big mean assault automatic crazy rifle. It's it's got a nice finish. First thing I did when I get a new gun, whether it's a new or used, I take it completely apart, clean it, check all the parts, look for wear, do some polishing. I took the trigger out, did a little trigger job on it, polished the thing so I have a little bit smoother trigger. Oh, it's got to be on fire. Sorry about that. It's like, damn, that got hard. So I'm squeezing it softly. And that's the trigger. And then I lighten up the reset so I don't have to let the trigger go much to let it reset back in. There's my reset. And then there's my fire again. So I did a quick trigger, pull the trigger out, did some polishing on all parts that connect. Basically what I call a trigger job is I'm not cutting springs or changing the specs of the things. I'm merely polishing parts that touch. So where the hammer comes back and cocks, because it pushes down to cock and then it hooks, I polish those rubbing surfaces. And in old military guns where we were shooting thousands and thousands of rounds, I mean, we'd go out in one day and fire 3,000 or 4,000 rounds. So it wasn't, you know, it didn't take long for a gun to get these polish marks. So when you clean the gun, you started sawing what parts wore first. And when a gun wore and it had all these rounds through it, it functioned better. It was smooth. It worked out all the rough edges. So when you get a new gun, you know, I'll sit here and I'll do this 20, 30 times, 50 times, 100 times while I'm watching TV. I'll set it there and just practice this to simulate me firing rounds and the bolt coming back and it's functioning, and I'm filing off minor parts to make sure it fits better. It's making natural grooves, and it'll get smoother as I go. The other thing I did is I pulled out the safety. I don't like a safety that's kind of hard to put on. So I took the safety out and I polished up around it, and it's a little bit smoother. And again, I just sat here and did this while I'm watching TV about 200 times, 300 times. And then after that, I pulled it out, did some polishing on all the moving parts, the parts that look worn, and now it's just a little bit smoother, and it's a little quieter. If I wanted to be quiet, I can move it like this, and it doesn't make near the clicking it did. Okay? Obviously, if you snap it, it's going to click, but if you move it, it's a lot quieter. So, that's what I do with AR. Then I put 30 round mags through it. I sighted it in on my target out there, made sure it shoot, made sure it functioned, made sure it didn't jam, made sure the things are flying out right. Worked perfectly, and I used steel casing. Most people use 5.56, which is brass. It feeds better. A lot of people will say you can't shoot steel in an AR, it'll jam. It gets metal fragments, it's not made. But you know what? I've shot quite a few steel. I've never had a problem with any of my guns. Now I usually do a little bit of work on my guns, but none of my guns has ever jammed on steel or brass. But I figure if I can get a gun new and it'll work fine with steel rounds, it's going to work fine with brass, because brass is considered a little bit higher quality. It doesn't shave as much. It's not going to rust. It's going to be a little bit more fitted. So I mean, so anyway, I picked this up today. you know, I want everybody to know that I walk the walk, and I try to walk what I talk, because I'm telling people, go get yourself a gun. I don't care if you use it. I've already got 5, 6 ARs. I have to look at my book on how many I got. I've got plenty of ARs. I don't need an AR. But this gun, if the stinking liberals keep getting their way and doing all this shit, what I just paid $650 for, I'll be able to sell for $1,200, $1,300, $1,500. So this is an investment. It's better than money in the bank. I can also use it to defend myself. I can also use it for trading or bartering. And I also up the ante on a number of people buying guns. And I think that's a good thing, because the more people that buy guns right now, the better. I mean, if you don't get them now, you may not get them. And I mean, I'm not into this fear tactic and NRA, oh, you know, without us, you wouldn't have... I'm not into all that, but I'm telling you, that they're coming after the guns hard. They do it every election year. They do it every time there's a shooting. They do it any time the liberal can get a microphone, they're going to try and blame it on a gun. So, I picked it up. It was on sale. I thought it was a good deal. If you can find a Smith & Wesson for $650, I would say get it. I think it's a very well gun. I have a Colt, I have a Limpy, I have a Anderson, I have a Bushmaster, I have a DPMS. So I have several different ARs. This is a really solid AR out of the box. I like a lot of things about it. I like the sight, I like the barrel, I like the finish, I like the trigger. I didn't have to do much on it. It's got the expandable stock already. That's what I like. It's kind of short and it's nice. It's not that long. So I think it's a good bargain, and I hope everyone goes out and buys 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. And my next video, I'm going to try and explain the difference between a semi-automatic and an automatic, because people can't get it. And I'm going to use something the liberals will be able to understand. All right, we'll end that there.